The property owner is extending the life of this deck beyond 20 years by eliminating trip hazards. After priming with premix, the worker is going to use some mortar to brush in a slurry bond coat. This helps even out the primer by eliminating puddling in the depressions. The repair mortar is typical for basic repairs. It's 1 part Portland type 1 and 2 cement to 2 or 2.5 parts sand, and the premix used to mix the mortar is 1 part Fusion-Crete 2 crystals to 5 or 6 parts water. Enough premix was used to make this repair mortar wetter than the dry pack mortar used on the stair face. This helps make the mortar a little easier to place and finish. Notice that the priming and slurry bond coating extends beyond the edge of the repair. Be sure not to let the primed surface dry before placing and compacting the mortar onto it. Then the extra mortar is cut back with a magnesium float. The surface is floated and feathered out with a sponge. The final finish can be completed with brush, broom, trowel, magnesium float, sponge, or any other typical means. Here's a typical repair of a divot posing a trip hazard on a control joint. This is another example of making a repair that restores the original profile of the structure. In this case, the profile of the control joint in the deck will be restored. Taking into account the original profile of the structure will help assure that the repair is long-term. After removing the excess mortar, the worker is going to take a trowel and make a cut to the bottom of the control joint. Then the top of the control joint will be finished with a shallow-keeled, narrow control joint tool. Whatever tool is used, the important thing is to restore the original profile of the structure. And finally, a little detailing and cleanup. Of course, the degree of attention to detail will depend on the job. Here a worker is feather edging a repair. He's using a sponge cut from upholstery foam to finish the top and flick the larger pieces of sand away from the feather edge. There's something to keep in mind that's very important regarding Fusion-Crete 2. Fusion-Crete 2 is unmatched in its flexibility of mix design and its range of repair options. This allows the user to determine what tool or what technique is best for the job.